Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to speak or discuss about Mesopotamian civilization. Before going to read about Mesopotamian civilization, let's understand the platform, which means civilization. What actually mean by civilization? Who are citizens? Who are civilized people? Before that, we should know the origin or the birth of human being. As I said, as we read Charles Darwin theory, they were apes. Afterwards, we are transformed to human being. Eventually, gradually, as we grew up, we became human beings. Okay. In the initial stage, there were set of people. They are called as nomads. Okay. They were not residing in particular area. These nomads used to go here and there and they used to collect their food and they used to have raw meat. They were not called as civilization. Just they were roaming here and there. Then later what happened? The civilization emerged after thousands of years. These primitive human beings used to gather their food. Okay, they used to gather the food and they used to have raw meat. They didn't had any advancement. They didn't had any developed aspects. Okay, they didn't even had any language, scripture, anything. Just they were existing, they were eating, and they were going. After some years, thousands of years, these primitive human beings turned to or they accepted the advanced life. Okay, advanced stage and social development. Here, advanced stage in the sense these primitive human beings started to settle down in particular geographical areas. Best example you can take that we are residing in India. It's a particular geographical area. Am I right? If we go to some other country, people do recognize us by saying you are an Indian. So simple. This advancement of stage came up. Then the social development. People started to think. They started to have conversation. Then, as I told, nomadics, they were using the skin of animal to cover their body. Before that, they were naked. These are the process. Then, when it came to advanced stage, they started to wear the clothes. They found clothes, and as I told, they were eating raw meat. It is shifted. Now they are cooking. They are having the tastiest food. And what happened? This civilization came to light. Civilization is an advancement stage of human beings and it's a social development. Okay, keeping all these things apart, let us see what is the characteristics. Okay, what are the features of this particular civilization. This is not a feature of Mesopotamian civilization, as a feature of civilization. Yes, first point is settled life. First point is settled life. These particular human beings started to settle down in particular geographical areas. Like best example, if there's a group of people, they do reside in a Kuampunagar or somewhere else. They started to settle down. They started to construct their house in a particular areas. They had a good settled life. Then afterwards, they started to have surplus food production. So here in the beginning, what they used to have, they used to eat raw meat. Then whatever they used to get roots, plants, leaves, they used to consume it in a raw way. But here what happened? Here they started to cook. They started to follow the food chain. What to eat, what not to eat. Okay, these things came. Then we know the food chain, right? Man eat vegetarians, non-veg, egg, milk, animals eat some other animal. It's a dependent process. So here what happened? The surplus has become. The food surplus has become. Then afterwards, as I told, now since they have settled down in particular geographical area, what happened? They have constructed towns and cities. Right? So if we are residing in particular geographical area, we need some basic infrastructure. Right? There should be a school, there should be a college, there should be a hospital, there should be a police station, fire station. These are essential for town planning. So if something happens, some crime happens, they should approach police. Right? This is the advanced stage. No minds people who are not having anything, no crime, nothing. If they are killed, they are killed. If they are fighting each other, they are fighting each other. At present society, in the advanced stage, what it means? It means it is civilized. They are developed. They are in the social atmosphere. They are thinking of the social aspect or perspective. So then what happened? They constructed towns like universities. Best example you could see Nalanda, Takshashila universities. Okay, there were many institutions. They started to construct like Kacha house, Pakka house. They came from rock shelter. Who after nomads there was rock shelter. From there they have come to Kacha house, Pakka house. Now we have seen the advanced or developmental stage. Then afterwards they had particular town planning system. I have reflected in my previous point, like here they used to have town planning system in a house or in a particular geographical area, the drainage system. Because since we use the washrooms and all, drainage is very essential. Here what happened? They started to implement this drainage system. Especially when you take Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilization, when you see Harappan town planning system, there you come across about this drainage, washrooms, schools, okay, then the police station, then the universities. These were put within the particular geographical area. Then afterwards, governing bodies and laws. Okay, now since the population has increased, people have grown up, people have become advanced, they are following some social norms. Meantime, don't you think we should govern people? There should be law to punish the people. There should be certain rules and restriction to the individual. Yes, it is necessary. See, when there is a collective group, people will be with many opinion. For me, I like a red color. Somebody might like green color. So this person says that to a particular area we paint red everywhere. Then another one says no, let's paint green. What happens? Conflict arises. They fight each other. So what happened? They have to govern. They have to rule. They have to see each other. So what they have done? They had set up some government bodies, like in the local area there should be an administrator who will be taking care of them. Then if something goes wrong, they will take it to this particular laws. Like example, if you take panchayat system, if somebody is fighting or somebody do some mischievous things, they bring everyone in front of the panchayat member. They sit underneath the banyan tree and what they do, they discuss the topic, and if the crime is proved, okay, if the crime is shown that is committed by the particular person, then he is punished according to law. Best example, in India we have Indian Penal Code. Okay, like we say IPC sections. If somebody is doing theft, murder, the code will utilize some sections like section 420. Many sections they utilize. Okay, these are there to govern, to take care of the people. Then afterwards, people started to learn some special crafts and skill. As I told, there are many eras in history like Neolithic age, Chalcolithic age, Bronze age. So here what happened? These people started to develop their weapons, okay, special crafts. In the beginning, they used to, these people used stones to get fire. Nomads people use stone to get fire. When they rub the stone at each other, there is a spark and it used to set. Nowadays, we have matchstick and lighter. Advanced, shifted. This is a skill. Again, what happened? These people started to wear clothes. Then afterwards, they started to cook in a different way. Then they prepared pots, vessels. All these things came. Then skills like they started hunting in a different way. Then again they went for agriculture. Like they got weapons, tools. Many things were came to light. Finally, which is very essential, language and script. To have communication, if you want to have communication with anyone, language is very essential. In the beginning, these nomad people used to communicate with signs and symbol, or on the rock shelter they used to draw something. It is a medium of communication, it's a one mode of communication. This time what happened, they have developed the language, they started to speak with each other. Then finally whatever they spoke, they started to pen down, which means they started to write. They started to write in a piece of paper. When it comes to Egypt, you can see that there is a papyrus plant. From that, the papyrus sheet is prepared. On that, in the beginning, they started to write Bible on that. It's another medium. Okay, from like this, the language and scriptures have come to light. It's an evaluation. Okay, from the basic stage to advanced stage. Afterwards, when it comes to Bronze Age, Bronze Age is a historical age where the usage of bronze, it's a kind of material, it's a kind of material which used by this particular people. Okay, this bronze was more utilized in this age, so the age is named after bronze. In this Bronze Age, what happened? The civilizations were found on the river banks. Why on the river banks? That's a common question. I will tell you the river banks valleys later. Let's see the reason why these civilizations were found on the banks of river. First point is abundant water supply. The river is flooded in rainy season, then during summer there will be minimal water, during winter there will be some amount of water. This used to provide water to the large settlement. People used to settle on the particular area, and it provides, clear with that, it provides water to them 24/7, 365 days, which is very helpful to them for agriculture. Clear? Agriculture. They will be having water, they used to utilize it for agriculture, which was very helpful for 365 days, which means to a year. In a year they can grow. Meantime, the land was fertile. Why? Because during floods, this river used to bring alluvial silt, alluvial soil, which is loosely packed. During the flood, it used to bring the sand from the various banks, or from different banks. It used to bring and deposit on the particular area. So what happened for them? It is loosely packed. No, this sand is loosely packed where they can grow very easily. Then it's fertile, which is very essential for agriculture. If the land is fertile, they get good crop. Meantime, they used to have two agricultural aspects, like if they are growing crops. On the other hand, they used to set poultry, cow shed and sheep shed, many things. This was another important things. Then second point is, these rivers have played a role like means of transport. It's a means of transport to them. Through these rivers, they used to go to the another bank. They used to see the other society. They used to see the different culture. Then through this, the cities and the towns were expanded. These are the basic things of the civilization. It's a small introduction of how the civilization emerged, what are the things and features, characteristics involves. Then here we see some of the important river valley civilization. The first is Indus Valley civilization in the Indian subcontinent. Then it goes to Nile Valley, it's Egypt. Valley of Tigris and Euphrates, which is Mesopotamia. Valley of Huanghe and Yangtze, which is China River Valley. So now we'll go to the introduction of Mesopotamian civilization. Mesopotamia at present exists in Iraq. Mesopotamia means the land between the two rivers. It's Tigris and Euphrates. It's a deposition of alluvial soil. It's a deposition of alluvial silt in this particular geographical area. 160 years back, our archaeologists have started to dig up the mountain and they unearthed or they discovered, excavated the ancient town and cities called this Mesopotamia. Then who is that historian? Historian is Henry Rowland. Though there is no natural barricades or barriers to this Mesopotamian civilization. What are the natural barriers? So in geography, there are three kinds of land. A land which is covered by sea is sea-locked. The land which is covered by land is called as landlocked. The land which is covered by sea and water is called buffer state. So if a country is with this, okay, if it is surrounded by mountain, it is very difficult to any enemy to get inside the territory. If a land is covered by sea, it is very difficult to get inside the territories because the enemy has to sail age together and they may get some disease and they may die. So okay, that is also one of the difficulty things. If it is covered by half land, half water, they are a bit confused to attack from there, how to go, because there will be some territorial, there will be mountains or something to invade or to get inside. Then what happened? They didn't have any safety measures or barriers over here. So what happened? So many nomads came and they attacked, and they were deposited here. They were dumped. Okay. So what happened here? Since they were deposited and the many nomadic groups came there, so it is called as cradle and grave of the civilization. Why? Around 3500 BCE, Sumerians developed the world's first civilization. Then came Babylonian, then came Assyrians. These three people came there and they have settled. It has become bit more bigger. So around 3500 BC they were there. It's a mixture. Now it's not a particular group staying or residing over there. Clear? It's not a particular group or someone is residing over there. Here what happens? Here there are many people who came, dumped, and the civilization grew. So it is called as cradle and grave yard of the civilization. Then let's see some geographical extension over there. Who are there in the east, west, north, south. So here what happened? In the lower valley of Euphrates, Sumerians were there. The western side of Sumerians, Babylonians were there. Then highlands in north, Assyrians were there. These three people were there in Mesopotamian civilization. Then for the centuries, nomadic tribes from outside poured into this valley. So this is why for this statement they call it as cradle and graveyard. Then finally civilization flourished around 3500 BC to 600 BCE. Gradually acknowledged that this is one of the oldest civilization. It had come to light. This civilization had come to light during the first quarter of the 20th century. This is all about a small introduction about Mesopotamian civilization. In our next class, we see what are the features of this Mesopotamian civilization. Thank you and all.